Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be emptying out my oil catch cans for my 2022 Subaru BRZ. Again, codename Sylvie. This was actually an idea from one of my viewers to make this video, so I can't remember your name, but I'm going to leave it right here. I want to thank you for that idea. So I've been on these empty oil catch cans for, I want to say, 6,000 miles, about 8 months more or less. I want to say that the left hand side one, the one closer to the battery, is going to have the most blow by, and the one on the right is going to have the least blow by, just based on my personal experience with my FRS when I had them installed in my FRS before. I'm also in this video going to be taking care of this rubbing that I've been having an issue with on my exhaust. So if you guys know, my BRZ has a Corsa exhaust, and it has like a resonator that's kind of big. So it's been rubbing on the, how do I say, the heat shield on the side. So I'm going to be taking care of that, see if I can arrange it in a way that it's not going to rub too much. All right, so we're going to get right into it. We're going to remove my two 10mm bolts here, and then I believe this one is a 7? A 7? A 4. It's a 4 Allen key. So just taking off these guys and taking off the oil catch can. Alright, and since we undid those bolts, we can just go ahead and lift it up and unscrew the canister. I really don't know how much is going to be in here, because I feel like this has always been empty with my previous car, with my previous FRS. So from the looks of it, it kind of has some, like it has like a couple drops. It's not a lot, but I mean, if you really think about it, that could be going into your intake. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this out and put it back. All right, it's all cleaned out, as you can see. We're gonna go ahead and reinstall it just by lifting it up and screwing it back on. Get it hand tight. This is probably the thing I hate the most on this catch can, is that like, in order to put this one back, you have to like hold the nut and the Allen key and kind of like hold it and twist it at the same time so that it can like catch. All right, moving on to the left hand side, most close to the battery. I feel like this guy's gonna have the most oil, just based on, you know, my previous experience is always having the most oil. All right, now that we removed those bolts, we can go ahead and lift it up. I'm gonna be very careful. As you can see, I mean, now that I'm looking at it, it looks like it's kind of been leaking from the sides here, which is definitely interesting. Oh yeah, that's tight. There you go. Oh, I hope it's not full. I mean, it might be. It's a good possibility. It feels heavy. Oh man, this is gonna be full. Nope. Just smoke. Just smoke. So, although it's not full, it does have a lot in there. So, move the camera here. Alright, so I grabbed this oil cap to show you guys how much oil is in the catch can. So I'm going to go ahead and just pour it in there. Oh wow, that's a lot. I mean, that's like used oil. It kind of smells like gasoline too. So as you can see there, I mean, that's like a whole oil like cap full. I mean, that's like a lot. And that all came from the battery side, which, you know, is amazing. I mean, this stuff could be in my intake right now if I didn't have this catch can. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this off, and also clean the catch can so I can reinstall it. All right, so we went ahead and cleaned the oil catch can. So as you can see, it's nice and clean. It's funny, I thought it was going to be full, but I mean, it's good that it's not full. So putting it right back, twisting it on like that, making sure it's tight. I feel like it might have been leaking a little bit. Like, it wasn't leaking, it was probably like seeping, but probably because I didn't tighten it enough last time. So there you go, nice and tight. Grab this, clean it off the best I can. Alright, so as you can see, those oil catch cans from Radium are a really good investment to keep any blow-by or, you know, excess oil out of your intake. Because, I mean, all of that oil that we saw on this one would have went into the intake manifold and started clogging up the valves, as well as, like, you know, even though we saw a little bit of oil in the right side oil catch can, it's just good to keep all that, you know, excess blow-by, all of that stuff out of the intake system, you know, keeping the octane up, and, you know, of course, not like clogging the airways or what have you. So I know a couple of you are probably like, wait, like, did Sergio release a video on the STI flexible V-bars, as well as, you know, the hood struts for Sylvie? And you know, you're not right if you say no, because I actually didn't. So I felt like those parts were like really easy to install, so I went ahead and just installed them in the background. But I mean, I really love the hood struts. I mean, I can put it up, I can put it down without having to put the prop rod, and it's something that I always wanted on, you know, my FRS. But, you know, doing it right with Sylvie, putting everything together as I wanted it before. But also some feedback with those STI flexible V-bars. I feel like, you know, aesthetically they're very pleasing, but they also have function to them. So, like, you know, initially I just put it on because I want like STI stuff. Having some experience with them now, having some time to drive with them, I feel like they have a lot of like quartering stability. Like when I'm turning left or when I'm turning right, I feel like the car really like goes into the turn rather than, like, I don't know, because it was a little, I don't know how to explain it. It's really hard to explain. I just feel like it just kind of go like kind of waves in, kind of sits into the corner rather than kind of just like sitting on top. I don't know how to explain it. Look, all I know is it feels way better with those STI flexible V-bars. So definitely 10 out of 10 would recommend them. Alright, and now that we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and lift up Sylvie and see what's rubbing, because in the background I did lift her up and see what was rubbing, and it was the resonator of the Corsa exhaust that was rubbing against the heat shield. And what I did was I moved it a little bit away from it and tightened the mount on the transmission mount that holds the exhaust. I tightened it a little bit so that it can like be out of the way, and I put some Loctite on it. So this is more or less an inspection to see if that helped or if it's not helping, and see if there's anything that I need to go ahead and fix. Alright guys, so we're underneath the BRZ. As you can see, I'm working off a jack stand, so it's a little bit tight under here, and I'm sure you guys at home with jack stands yourself definitely know what I'm going through. So kind of going under here, we can see where my Corsa exhaust, the resonator part of it, has been rubbing on the heat shield there. I did previously adjust that right there. That is the transmission. I think that's the transmission mount that holds the front pipe in place. I did adjust that and remove that screw on, or sorry, the bolt. I'll zoom in here. That little bolt that sits right there, so it can be kind of, you know, sideways, so this front pipe, or sorry, this like mid pipe of the resonator isn't touching the heat shield on the side. So as you can see, I mean, for right now it's not scraping or what have you, but I did want to lift it up and just make sure it wasn't scraping anymore. I do want to say that I'm probably going to be adding a resonator to this exhaust system, because I am noticing a little bit of raspiness in like 3,000, I would say like 3,100 to 3,200 RPM. I am noticing some buzzing / droning noises. If I step on the gas at all, like more than, I think, like 3,300, it goes away. But I feel like with that Corsa resonator, that might not be you know, everything that this whole system needs, because I know that JDL front pipe does have a resonator there, but I have an idea of replacing that JDL front pipe resonator with a another Corsa resonator, or that of a Vibrant resonator, just to kind of help with the drone around that time, because I am driving on the highway a lot. So I want to go ahead and get rid of that like minimal drone that it has. Get out the shot. Get out of the shot. Bro. You can't just lay there. Yo. Get out the shot. Thank you. Alright, so we went ahead and emptied the oil catch cans on Sylvie, and we also lifted her up and just verified that my resonator on the Corsa exhaust wasn't scraping anymore. I feel like we are going to be adding another resonator to the system, because ever since I added the JDL Ultra Quiet front pipe, I feel like I have had some droning around 32 to 33,000 RPM, and I want to say it's the small resonator that JDL used to, you know, quiet down the system. I feel like it could be better, so trading it out for a vibrant performance or another Corsa resonator might help with the drone. I mean, I know with my wife's WRX, even on her Corsa exhaust, there could have been things that can be improved. So like on her Corsa exhaust, the resonator was actually like scraping the drive shaft, I think. All we had to do was kind of adjust it. So I know with aftermarket parts, things like that, we're gonna have to be adjusting it and try to make sure that it fits right, because it's, you know, like putting all these pieces together isn't always gonna fit like a puzzle piece. But thank you guys so much for watching this quick and simple video. Stay tuned for future videos to come. I want to say that some things that have been on my mind is adding a STI transmission mount that I saw online, because like whenever I'm driving, and this is something maybe you guys have more information on, or you guys can give me tips on, whenever I'm driving like in first gear or second gear, or like I would say first or second gear, and I hit a bump, or not even in first or second gear, whenever I hit a bump and I'm like under hard acceleration, it feels like it's jerking. Like I feel like it's like boo boo boo. I don't know, like it's not the power delivery, it's more or less I feel like a disconnection. It's like almost like if I'm like pushing the clutch and letting it out, and pushing in the clutch and letting it out. It's like a lot of wobbly. So I feel like it's the transmission mount. Yo, get out the shot. I feel like it's the transmission mount that Subaru has in these cars that has so much play in it that whenever I'm like hitting a hard bump, that it separates, or it just has so much play in it. So I think that adding that STI transmission mount is going to stiffen it up, help me with any of that stuff. But I feel like that might be the next video. I'm not sure. But yeah, like I said, just stay tuned for the next video, and I will see you guys in the next one.